Hey, everybody. Hello, Toneful people. I'm going to go check out the chat. I see some folks in here. Amanda was here first. Hello, Amanda. She was here first. Kay was here second. Hello, Kay. Thank you both for being here. Wayne flew in all the way from the UK, ladies and gentlemen. So far, I believe he's our furthest traveler. So, hello, Wayne. I don't know. He was talking about rubber gloves and security at the airport. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Candy, the fabulous Candy is here. You know, everybody knows Candy's fabulous. Let's see who else. I don't want to miss anybody. Again, if I do, it's never on purpose. Greg and Liz are here. All right. Welcome. Maria's here. Welcome, Maria. Great to see you. Okay, Scott. The Jacksons are here from California. Hello, hello, hello. Mike is here from the Florida area, soon to be back in Pennsylvania. How you doing, Mike? All right, great to see everybody. So, had a good week. I hope you guys did too. I had some airplay. I'm having airplay in a bunch of places, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this maybe on your TV screen you will, but this is a just one page of the airplay report. Right now, Winter Park and the River Flows are getting played in areas around the world, actually. So there's a little sampling of what's going on. And then I had a person I became friends with in Italy, Patrizio Sagona, and he is adding me to his radio station, and he reached out to me and asked me to do an ID, a station ID for him. Hi, I'm guitarist and vocalist Tony Janflone Jr., and you're listening to my music on Chilling Me Softly, Smooth Night.
Check out the new single, The River Flows, from guitarist and composer Tony Janflone Jr. This is the second release from his Tone Poems Volume 1 project, a collection of melodic instrumental compositions blending smooth jazz, contemporary jazz, and Tony's signature guitar sound. The River Flows takes the listener on a warm, soulful musical journey, built around a memorable melody and an expressive guitar performance. Tony Janflone Jr. has spent a lifetime performing, recording, and creating music, and The River Flows continues that tradition with a sound that is both fresh and familiar. You can find The River Flows on all major streaming platforms, and find CDs and digital downloads at TonyJanfloneJr.com.
So anyway, that's what's going on here this week. Now, I'm going to hold the buy me a coffee thanks for a little bit, but I do have somebody to thank last week, and I'm going to hold that. So here's what I'm going to do. Hey, William's here. I'm going to play a tune, part of a tune from my 1988 CD called In Time. And I have a story behind this song. I was at a gig, and I'm a big Beatles fan. I'm not as big a Beatles fan as Scott Jackson. He's the biggest Beatle fan I know by far, by far. He knows everything there is to know about the Beatles. He's awesome. But I love him. And so I was at a gig, and we were tearing down. And on the jukebox comes Drive My Car by the Beatles, their version, which I love. And I thought, wow, I love that song. So I thought, you know what? I'd like to do something a little different with it for me. And so I kind of slowed it down, and I'll say I made it a little funky. So I told you guys I was going to talk about some gear and stuff. So there's a guitar solo in this song. And I don't know if you can see this guitar or not. It's the heaviest Stratocaster I've ever owned. And actually the neck went bad, so my father put another neck on it, okay? So I had an endorsement with a company called Evans Pickups, so that's what's in this guitar. The reason I'm telling you this is I recorded the guitar solo on this tune with this guitar, and I also used, this was one of my setups at the time. I used this, there's a Boss OD1 and a Rat pedal into a Fender Twin amp, but it was called the Twin. And it was the heaviest Twin I think ever made. It was unbelievably heavy, but it sounded good. So I used this guitar. All right. Most of you see me play a Paul Reed Smith quite a bit, and I do, but not on this tune. So I'm going to let you sit back and just take a listen to this, okay? Drive My Car from my CD In Time. I'm remastering some of the stuff, and hopefully I'm going to release it again.
Told the girl that my prospects were good. She said, baby, it's understood. Working for peanuts is all very fine. I can show you a better time. Baby, you can drive a car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Baby, you can drive my car. Baby, I love you. Beep, 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 yeah. Baby, you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Baby, you can drive my car. Baby, I love you. Told the girl I can't stop right away. She said, listen, baby, I got something to say. Got no car and it's breaking my heart. I found a driver that's a star. Baby, you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Baby, you can drive my car. Baby, I love you. Baby, you can drive my car. I'm gonna be a star. Baby, I love you. Yeah.
And there you have it. Drive My Car. And yeah, I saw William say those amps were legendary. They were, and they were also unbelievably heavy. Like by far the heaviest combo amp I ever had in my life. It was super heavy. I don't know why it was so heavy, but it was. I sold it to a friend of mine down in Florida because we lived there for a short time, and I didn't want to carry it again, so I sold it. My friend Tim George bought it. Okay, so I want to see if anybody else has entered. I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next song. Now, I showed you this setup right here. Super overdrive, that's the yellow pedal made by Boss. The rat pedal. If you guys know who David Gilmour is the guitarist from Pink Floyd and is actually one of my favorite guitar players. He used a rat pedal for years and years and years. So, this next song is coming out this Friday. It's from the Live at the Blues Cafe CD. And on that CD, I used a couple of different setups because they were recorded, the tunes were recorded at different times. And at one point, I had the twin and the pedals. But then I ended up getting a Bob Bradshaw preamp, which is a guy from Los Angeles that makes gear for a lot of heavyweights, you know? So I had that. But this setup right here is my trusty Paul Reed Smith. Now, this thing is hammered. It's beat to heck. I'm going to see if I can get a close-up, and maybe you can see. It's rivaling, you see that area that's kind of chewed up there from the pick? It's starting to rival the Willie Nelson Trigger guitar, but if you would see it in person, it goes far beyond that. It's really quite beat up because I would play my guitar with all kinds of things. Whatever was available to me, I played my guitar with it. Anyway, it's still happening. That thing is still rocking, but I used that on this next song. This is a Jimi Hendrix cover, and this is most of the song. It's not the complete song, but it's coming out Friday to my Spotify. So be on the alert for that. It's called The Wind Cries Mary.
The boxes and all the lamps have all gone to bed. You can hear happiness rolling down the streets, footprints dressed in red, and the wind whispers Mary. Sweeping broken pieces of yesterday's life. Somewhere the queen is weeping. Somewhere a king has no wife. And the wind cries Mary. Shine the emptiness upon my bed. Tiny island sags on down that street. The life they live is dead. And the wind screams Mary. Oh yes, with its courage, its old age, and its wisdom, babe. Wisdom, oh, this will be the last. And the wind does Mary. Oh, yes, he does. Sweet cousin Mary. Oh, oh, come on, yeah.
Okay. All right, that's the Wind Cries Mary coming out Friday to Spotify. Friday. All right, and that is memorable for me because the late, great Sonny Pugar is on that cut. My dear friend Sonny played drums, and fortunately I documented his playing on several of the songs on that CD. Great guy, he is surely missed. Also, George Elliott, my friend George Elliott on bass guitar, Tom Salyers on keyboards, and myself on guitar and vocals. And again, I was using the Blue Paul Reed Smith and those two pedals through that big, heavy twin amp on that song, okay? That's what I used. And I see a few new folks into the chat. Dory is here. Chicago, you're here. Awesome. Great. Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate that, man. It was fun. I always enjoyed playing it. And we do it, you know, a little differently than Hendrix did it. I don't think... we were kind of I'm going to say a jam band at some point, you know. Lots of improvising, lots of soloing. So almost every song ended up as a vehicle for playing for us. But that's our version of Wind Cries Mary. Mike Panich, you're here. The Pickled One. Hello. Great to see you. And thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Yeah, add that to your Spotify. And, you know, everything else is there. And to be honest, keep watching the Spotify page because there's something going to happen every 2 weeks for a while. I'm offsetting the Tone Poems material. So it's going to come out once a month. And then every 2 weeks, you know, once a month, Blues Cafe stuff. So it's going to be several months of things coming out. And I told you that Drive My Car is coming out. 2, it's going to come out. So anyway, when I was gigging, this is me playing at an amphitheater in West Virginia. And as you can see, I used to love to get out into the crowd. But I also wanted you to take a look at the guitar because that is a Sunburst Paul Reed Smith. And you guys remember my song that opens the show typically, Victor Vicious, the song I wrote for my brother Victor. That is what I used on that song, that guitar. And it's still in the family, but it doesn't look like that anymore. It doesn't look like that because it too was really beat up. And I have a friend who used to come see me play, Keith Kilcarry. Keith Kilcarry, he has Kilcarry's auto body. So he said, hey, I want to take your guitar and I want to paint it so cool. So he did, and I'll have to bring it on camera. I don't have it up here right now. But that guitar is no longer Sunburst. It's actually a marble gray paint job. It's totally custom and unique. So thank you, Keith Kilcarry. He did that for me years ago. All right. Checking the chat. So I don't see Sage, but I'm going to do this anyway. I'd like to say a special thanks to the wonderful, the sweet and kind Sage for buying me coffee this week. Thanks, Sage. You're pretty awesome. So if you see Sage anywhere, tell her I said thank you. She's very cool. You're all cool. You're all cool. I'm so blessed to have you all here. So anyway, and we're going to open this up to some questions because I know some people have questions for me. But I'm going to tell you a story. So it's actually a couple stories in one. So after I toured the country with a guy named Brooks Paxton, I came back home, and with Brooks, I played all over the country. Now, that is me with a perm, and that's my father with a perm. So I did not stick my finger into an electrical outlet. It was actually a real perm. And that's my brother, my late brother Victor, on the trumpet back there in the back, that handsome guy back in the back. So we played this family band, and that's where I got a lot of experience because I would make the backing tracks. We did have a drummer eventually, my friend Kevin DeRose, but we didn't have a bass player. I played bass, and I played keyboards. And at the time, we bought a Lynn drum machine, which was the state-of-the-art drum machine, and it was probably the best-sounding drum machine at the time. There's a lot of old tunes were recorded on the Lynn drum. Linn, look it up. So anyway, that's our family band. And we used to do all kinds of gigs. And my dad would book them. And I was I'm going to call myself the Dirty Harry of the band because in one of the movies they said, why do they call him Dirty Harry? And it's because he gets every dirty job. He's the guy, you know. So that was me. That was me. My dad would volunteer me for things I had no idea what I was doing, who I was doing it with. So we played a show in Pittsburgh. And some of you who are from Pittsburgh would remember Kennywood Park had a ride called the Monongahela Monster. The Monongahela Monster, but they had a stage there. Okay? So we were hired to back up a guy. His name was Doug Ali, and he was Filipino. Now, I will tell you this. I had an experience with Filipino musicians out in Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe at the time had 24-hour entertainment. 24-hour entertainment, and the bands would rotate. And there was a band from the Philippines, and these guys could barely speak English. But when they sang, if a guy did an Elvis tune, he sounded just like Elvis. I'm not kidding. They're like master mimickers. These guys could sound like whoever they wanted to sound like. If they were singing somebody's song, they could make themselves sound like that person. So Doug Ali was an Elvis imitator, but it was a different thing because not only did he do Elvis, but he did the limbo. And he did the limbo over fire, over glass. It was just crazy stuff. So, and he could do the limbo lower than anybody I've ever seen. And if you don't know what the limbo is, you got to look it up. They have a pole, and they keep dropping the pole lower, and you can't lay down. You have to go through with your feet forward. It was amazing, actually. Doug Ali was like a rubber band man. It was amazing. So we're playing this gig, and they had a magician at this show alternating sets. So my dad talks to the magician on the break, and the guy says, "Hey, can I get you guys to back me up on some shows?" And my dad was like, "Yeah, sure. Didn't ask us. So it goes further than that, because yours truly became part of a magic trick. I kid you not. I had to wear a one-piece white outfit, like a onesie, white. And there's a device called a shadow box. And I guess I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to give away the tricks on this one anyway. So they designed this box, and it's an optical illusion, barely, I will say, that you could never fit anybody in the bottom portion of this box. It's designed so when you look at it from the front or any of the sides, it looks very thin. But they just designed it enough to barely fit a human my size in there. But you had to be kind of a contortionist to get in and out of this thing. It was really a drag. I was folded up in there like a pretzel. And sometimes they would put me in too early, and I'd be stuck in this thing. And it's claustrophobic, and it's dark, and you're just folded up in the bottom of this shadow box. So the shadow box has white sides around it and a top. Top has a hole. They stick a light down into the hole. So it makes a shadow in the box. I used to have to, when they would conjure me up, he would conjure, hocus pocus thing, and he would conjure me up, and I'd have to get up out of this thing. And sometimes they were rotating it while I was trying to get out of it. I'm in the pretzel, and I'm in my onesie. And then I would have to work my way up into the box, and then I would kind of do this kind of thing where I'd work my hands and my body toward the front. So you would see this shadow appearing, and then I would break out of it. I would break out of this thing. And they would hand me a guitar. And I remember the song. It was a George Benson song called Weekend in L.A. I would pop out of the box in my onesie, and I would play Weekend in L.A. for all of the people. And it was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done in my life. Other than playing with a guy that was a fire-breathing guy with he was very built, and he wore very little clothes, and he was a fire-breathing guy and would swallow fire. And my dad got us involved with that. His name was Aishamir. So my dad watches these shows sometimes, so I'm ratting him out a little bit. Yeah. So lots of weird gigs. I played at a laundromat one time too, and that was my own doing. There was an ad agency. Actually, I ended up writing some jingles for them eventually, but they called me and I had to play a grand opening of a washer and dryer. And I remember grand opening of a washer and dryer, grand opening of a laundromat. And I remember being by the washers and dryers is what I meant to say. And they were, doing their thing, spinning, going to I was playing music, and they started dancing with their baskets from the washer. And I just remember singing Caribbean Queen, Billy Ocean, and people were dancing from the washer to the dryer, and then from the dryer to the folding table. and another one of my funny gigs. But the Magician and the Fire Breather were the tops. Doug Ali, I'm going to say, was third. But anyway, this is what you do sometimes when you're a musician. So I see Katie's here. And I'm going to ask you a question, Katie. Now, I know there's some younger people here. So the CD that I played earlier came out in 1998. And I'm going to say, I bet Katie hadn't been born yet. I think I'm correct. Or maybe you were a baby. Is this correct, Katie? Okay. I'll check back for that answer. Oh, Yvonne's here. And I did see Admit Audacity as well. And this is atypical tonight because I decided not to do an interview this week. Although next week, Rob Parisi's coming. Play that funky music. He's the guy. He's the guy that wrote that great song. And he's funny. He's funny. I did do a food court too. That was a rough gig. I played a food court in a mall for a long time, the Monroeville Mall. And that's when malls were happening. It was crowded and every age group imaginable. And I remember singing Bobby Brown's Don't Be Cruel there. It was a big hit at the food court. Oh, you know what? Since we're on the food court, and I see my wife brought that up, I have a song on the Blues Cafe CD called The Food Court Blues. And that was written for that food court because there was a guy who ran a pizza shop. I was in the food court with all of these restaurants, and they were filled. And everybody loved it, except the pizza guy. I'm not going to name the business because they're still in business. I'm sure he's long gone. But he would get to where it looked like his head was going to blow off his body, and he would come up and chew me out. And everybody was saying, it's not loud, it's not loud. And then he started sending mall security on me. Like Paul Blart would show up. And finally, I just said to the security guard, I said, look, is there a mall jail? If I don't turn down now, am I going to go to mall jail? And he said, no. So I kind of did the old pretend I turned it down. I'd reach over and fake out the knob or slider, you know. Anyway, I wrote this song because of this guy. He gave me such a hard time every week I was there. So on the CD, there's a song called The Food Court Blues, and that was written then, a long time ago, for the Monroeville Mall Food Court. There you go. All right. So next up, I told you guys that I used these two different guitars, the Paul Reed Smith. I used them both on this next song, but there's two versions of the song. They're not complete. It's not the complete song. But I wanted to let you hear them. So 1998, the same CD as Drive My Car was on, I did a version of Hey Joe. And it's the studio version. Then I, in 2000, put out a live version of it. So, studio version. This guitar again, same guitar. And the yellow pedal and the black rat pedal and that twin amp. But then I went to this setup. So I had a rack, and it was so heavy, and it was about the size of a refrigerator, and it took four of us to carry it up the stairs at the Blues Cafe. So what you see at the top is a 3-channel preamp. It's called the Custom Audio Amplifiers, CAE3. And so it had different gain stages, basically. A clean channel, then a slightly distorted channel, then a heavier channel. Then below that, I had what's called a patch mate, Rocktron patch mate. And I would put my pedals into a drawer. So they were in my rack. And then I was able to switch sounds by having what we call a MIDI pedal. So it was just one button, and I could switch several pedals with one button at that time. And then that's a Mesa Boogie 212 cabinet. So that's a 212-inch speakers, for those of you who don't know guitar speak. But that's the cabinet I used. And I had a tube power amp. And then I also had a solid state power amp because the tube was not as reliable and gave me some problems. But that's the rig I used on the second version of Hey Joe. First version is the Stratocaster. Second version is the beat up Paul Reed Smith. It's on the cover. So I'm going to let you hear both of those right now. These are two different versions. One is studio, one is live.
Hey Joe, I'm asking you where you're gonna run to now. Yeah. Hey Joe, I'm asking you where you're gonna run to now. Dig it. I'm going way down south, way down south to Mexico way. Yes, I am. I'm going way down south, way down south to Mexico way. Ain't no man gonna find me there now. Hey Joe, if you shot your lady down, I know you did. Hey Joe, if you shot your lady down, you shot her down to the ground. Hey, hey Joe, where you gonna run to now? Hey Joe, I'm asking you where you gonna run to now. I'm going way down south, way down south to Mexico way. I'm going way down south now, way down south to Mexico way. Ain't no man gonna find me. Hey Joe, you just shot your leader down. I know that you did. Hey Joe, I heard you shot your lady down. Yeah, you shot
Okay, so that's 2 different versions of that song, studio and live. And I did see a few people pop in here. 2 guitar players that I know. Scott Detchen showed up. He's a great guitarist and vocalist, and another great guitarist and vocalist, Scott Gaynor, my friend Scott. So yeah, good to see you guys. Good to see you. Thank you for the nice words too. Thanks, Greg, Mike. I appreciate it, everybody. So that's 2 different songs, 2 different versions. I am going to put the studio version of Hey Joe out to Spotify as well. I'm doing a little bit of remastering on these things. The stuff was recorded a long time ago, and I might as well bring this up. So, there's no auto tune. There's none of that stuff going on. There's no, I didn't even have automated mixing for the In Time CD, which means I had 32 tracks of what we called Alesis ADATs. They were cool because you could actually record digitally, but they were stored on super VHS tapes. So anybody that's had a VHS player that knows the downfalls of those, tapes wear out, they get eaten. Same format, spinning ahead inside the machine, rough on the tape, and I ended up having to buy extra units, and they were not cheap because I ran a recording studio at my place and did a lot of jingles and stuff too. So I had to keep this rotation of the machines going. And there was a place in Philadelphia, every time one broke down, I had to send it off. And it was usually about, I don't know what it was, 4 to 6 weeks to get it back. It was crazy. So I had to have extra. And those machines were $2,500 a piece. So 8 tracks, every 8 tracks, they were $2,500. So 32 tracks. So you're into $10,000 there. And if you have a few extras, not great. But recorded on that stuff, no automated mixing. And I still think it came out pretty nice for what I had to deal with. But it's the way we rolled back then. Now it's piece of cake in a way. The editing capabilities are much greater, that's for sure. Okay, I'm looking back. Jimmy is smiling. Thank you, Scott. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Hey, there's another Jimmy here. Drum Blanket. Jimmy. How you doing? Awesome. Send you my hat, Dory. That's the Why Not Records hat. They are available at my Fourth Wall store. They are, Why Not Records. Tony backwards. And I'm just checking the chat. I hope I don't miss anybody. Oh my gosh. So Katie was born in 1998. I suspected this. So that CD came out in probably, I'm going to say it was probably closer to the fall, if I remember correctly. I played a great club in Pittsburgh called Graffiti Showcase. And one of the coolest rooms in town. And it was really, really fun. We played there, so I'm pretty sure it was a fall date for that CD release party. All right. Well, I'm going to open this up to questions right now. If you have any questions and I missed you, just say it again. Say it again. So yeah, Katie, 1998, that's when that came out. And I had another CD out in 1994. And then the first project I ever put out was 1991. Yeah. There you go. I met Dory at PPG Place. I remember that, Dory. I remember meeting you there. I do. Very cool. All right. Okay. So again, let me think of some questions if you guys have them. I am going to tell you about upcoming guests. So coming up next week, I'm so looking forward to this. Mr. Rob Parisi, my friend Rob from Wild Cherry. And Scott Jackson will know who I'm talking about. He actually, on their third CD, Scott, they had the Brecker Brothers horn section. How about that? And then my sweet friend, Canadian songstress J.C. Soul. And every time I see her name or hear her name, I think of Boz Scaggs. And you ask why? Because he has a song, Hey Miss Sun. Hey Miss Sun. And soul, I believe, is another word for sun. So then after that, a way cool guy, George Marinelli. George Marinelli played with Bruce Hornsby when Mandolin Rain came out. So he was part of the Range, so he's on that song. And then he went to Bonnie Raitt's band for 30 years, and I'm a giant. I love Bruce Hornsby and Bonnie Raitt, and I'm a big George Marinelli fan because he's a way cool guy, and he plays great, and he writes great songs, and he's going to be on, so that's going to be fun. And then Ernie Pontier, who's a really talented guy, great vocalist. He was one of the lead vocalists for the Four Coins and the Letterman, and he also is a great trombone player, so he played trombone for Wayne Newton. Then I have my buddy Michael Cates on saxophone coming up, and he had a recurring role. Besides the music he makes, he's an actor. He had a recurring role in Ally McBeal. So how about that? Then after that, Pete Hewlett, my friend Pete Hewlett. Pete Hewlett was on the road with Billy Joel. He sang the high stuff. He was the high vocalist, okay? And I don't mean he was high, like he was maybe like pickles, but he has a high voice. He's a great singer. So he was on the road with Billy for many years. In fact, there's the Madison Square Garden concert that's out that he's on. So Pete Hewlett. He also played with a group called Novo Combo with Michael Shreve, drummer. And I know that Carlos Rios, one of my favorite guitar players, was on the second album with them. After that, Mark Douthit. Now, Mark is such a cool guy, and he's from Nashville, and he's session guy all over the place, has toured extensively with Michael McDonald and a bunch of other people. He's also on the latest Keith Urban CD. Keith did a Yacht Rock CD, and so Mark's on it. So Mark's coming up. And then, believe it or not, this guy, I played his wedding years ago. And he's a great guy. And I'm actually, in the very first film that I know he did, it was called 30, I believe. And it was a movie about Route 30. Some of my music's in that movie. Curtis Pollock, he's from Austin, Texas. And he's a filmmaker, and he's coming on. Also, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I have a couple DJ friends that are coming on. I'm going to put a link in the comments right now, or in the chat. I was on with two really great people from Louisville. They have a station, and they play smooth jazz music, and they actually interviewed me last Friday. And you can hear the rebroadcast of that on that Spotify link that I just gave you. So they're great. Marilyn and Maurice, super people. So I'm actually going to repay them the favor by having them on here because they're such sweet people, really cool. And then also, my friend Ian Young from Scotland is coming on. And you heard him a few episodes now. He was the one introducing my name, and he has that great accent. Well, he's going to be a guest, so you're going to have an evening of that great accent. He's just a nice man, and so that's coming up as well. Okay, I think I missed somebody saying hello. Hang on. Yes, smash the like bucket. The like button. I said like bucket. Like button. Candy's saying that, so I'm repeating. Smash it. Smash the like. Okay. I thought I missed somebody, but so okay. Any questions? We have any questions? My favorite color is blue. I think so. Or black, as you can see. Anybody that knows me and has known me a long time knows that my wardrobe is very, very limited. I am Johnny Cash's illegitimate child because I dress in black almost all the time. Oh, the Bowers. Ray Bauer. Okay, hey, Ray and Kim. Kim and Ray, they're here. All right, great. We used to play in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, and that's where they're from. Lock Haven, PA. And by the way, on that studio version of Hey Joe, one of my real great friends, Ray DeFade, played drums on that. Ray DeFade's a great drummer and a great guy. George Elliott was on bass. On keyboards on that one, I had Phil Madera, actually from Nashville, played on that. And, of course, me on guitar and vocals. Also some backing vocals by Jeff Jimerson, who's from Pittsburgh, in a band called Airborne. And there's also, you have to listen carefully for it, there's a scream right before the guitar solo. There's 2 guitar solos. I only let you hear the ending guitar solo. After the first guitar solo, there's a scream there from the legendary Donnie Iris, who, if you guys remember Donnie, Aaliyah is a song, and Love is Like a Rock. And he's also on another one of my songs where he sings background vocals on a song called Crocodile Tears from that album. All right. There you go. I agree, Amanda. It is a very colorful color. Black is beautiful. All right. When did you start wearing your signature hat when performing? I'll tell you what happened. There was a biker, nice guy. His name was Stanley. And he gave me a hat at a show one time. Because I used to sweat. I still do. I sweat. There's an old baseball pitcher. He pitched for the Pirates. Jim Bibby. Look him up. Sweatiest guy ever. He was the sweatiest by far ever, right? So I always tell people I'm sweating like Jim Bibby. And so I was always sweating, and I was a mess, you know. So Stanley gave me this hat. Now, the thing is, it was a little bigger than my pork pie. It looked more like Garth Brooks' hat, you know, that kind of thing. In fact, one of my buddies made a comment on my Facebook page when I had a picture with that hat on. He said, Garth Brooks wants his hat back, you know, that kind of thing. But then I switched to the pork pie because I like pork pie hats. And then I had a guy give me, what were the name of those shoes? Come on, somebody has to help me out. They're black and white shoes. They have black and kind of a white tip. Oh, darn it. Jim Bibby. Yep, Jim. It's Bibby, I believe. James Bibby. Pitched for the Pirates years ago. Sweated like... He was sweating like... what was the actress in the Poseidon Adventure? Shelley Winters? Buster Browns. Doc Martens. They were Doc Martens. Thank you very much. K for the win. All right. Doc Martens. So, yeah, I had Doc Martens and I had the pork pie hat, and that ended up. And then the Doc Martens, I couldn't wear them to every gig. I used to wear the. I kind of am hearing something. Is my wife yelling? Hello? Hello? Not saddle shoes, Greg. I'm sorry. I'm hearing something from downstairs. So when that happens, sometimes I think there's an emergency. We did have an emergency this last week because a water sensor went nuts, which is connected to our house alarm. We had the condensate pipe clog up on the air conditioning unit, which was flooding the basement. Anyway, Henry Bibby. Oh, Greg, look at that. He's a sports historian. He said Jim Bibby's brother Henry played for the Knickerbockers, the New York Knicks, right? Yes. Liz made you say it. Okay. All right. So yeah, Mike, that was when I started. It was when Stanley gave me a hat, and then it stuck. And that's what happened. It was Stanley. You can blame it on Stanley. He's a nice guy. All right. Any other questions? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You know, I have a fondness for chicken. We were doing our song Chicken Necks, right? Chicken Necks. I actually posted it today on the channel. So I've always thought chickens were cool. And not in the same way that Colonel Sanders thought they were cool. I like live chickens. So I think they're neat. So I have another song for you guys. Oh, wait a minute. Questions? Yes, I saw you posted Doc Martin K. You didn't hear me? I said it. I said K for the win. Okay. Is my mic not working? If anything is going to happen, be sure it will happen on a live stream. Yes, of course. Of course. All right. So, do I still perform? Is there one place you would love to perform? Where would it be and why? Okay, so I'm not performing right now because I had a major surgery. Not saying I'm never going to play again because I'm trying to figure it out. I cannot perform like I used to. I was very active. Anybody that ever saw me would tell you I jumped on bars. I was all over the place in crowds. You could see in that photo I showed earlier, I was out in the middle of the crowd in an amphitheater. If I play again, it's going to be seated, and I'll sing and play and do my thing. But that being said, is there anywhere I've never or I would love to perform? Well, I'll tell you, one of the things I've always wanted to do was go to Italy and play because I'm half Italian and I have this love of Italy. So I would like to do that. So maybe still can happen. I don't know. Anyway, back to the chickens. Got a song for you. A little different. Think Glenn Miller. You guys remember Glenn Miller? Probably not. Some of you do. After you hear this song and you leave the stream, look up In the Mood by Glenn Miller. This is the chicken version. Sorry to do that to you, but I couldn't resist once I heard it. I think Scott said he used to love Glenn Miller. Oh my. Yeah. Those are recorded on ADATs too. With the little yellow pedal. Oh man. So anyway. Next week, Rob Parisi is here. And thank you for coming out tonight, you guys. If you don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. We have a cat who needs a thyroid pill. So anyway, thanks so much. You guys are awesome. Next week, Rob Parisi, play that funky music, white boy. He is great. And a nice man and funny. I laughed a good bit hanging with him. So, how many guitars do you take on live shows when? Okay, I always had at least two, Wayne. I my wife will tell you. I was like a Boy Scout when I played shows. I'm the guy that had two of everything. So, like, I had two mixers. You know. I had enough PA that if we went to a show that I had either spare stuff or I had enough to still get through a show if something blew up, whatever. So I took two guitars. I had two, preamps if I took them. I mean, I was the guy that was, I never wanted to be at a show and have it to where I couldn't do it because I was with somebody once who did not prepare and the PA went down and it was a wedding. It was a wedding, and it was a bad scene. And I didn't want to be that guy. So, yeah, two of everything, Wayne. It's expensive, but at least I was able to get through all my shows without canceling. All right. Any others? Wait, there's more questions. Wait, there's more. Okay. Did Tommy Dorsey do anything with turkeys? I'm going to have to research that, Greg. I do have a video of a turkey on my YouTube channel. When I was recovering from my surgery, we were out walking around, and there was one place we went and had a turkey, and it was kind of talking to me. And I put a video up, said he was using foul language, F-O-W-L. I know, I'm a cornball. Okay, so next week, 7 o'clock. And thank you so much. Please go to my Spotify, stream everything you can. More's coming this week when Cries Mary arrives on Friday. Also, Spotify. So you have Spotify. If you have Apple Music, all the streaming places, it should have it. Fourth Wall Store is still there. If you want to buy any kind of merchandise, mugs, T-shirts, anything, CDs, digital downloads, that sort of stuff. All of that helps support the channel and keep the lights on here. And again, I didn't see Sage tonight, but make sure you tell her I said a big thank you for being the supporter this week via Buy Me a Coffee. Okay? So, listen. I've had people come up to me and say, you have a great gift or whatever. God gave you a gift. And I think everything that happens, like all good is because of God. That's what I think. But I think there are people I've talked to that say they don't know what their gift is. So maybe it's not as readily, I should say, obvious to you yet. But I do know this. We all have a gift. Every one of us. And this one is easy. And it's just being kind. We all have that ability to do that. We can pick somebody up on their bad day. So use your gift of kindness regularly. I'm sure that you guys do, because I know that just from being here with you, I have a bunch of kind people that are here in the chat and on this channel. But that's nothing to be taken lightly. In fact, love. It's all about love. So that's why we're here. You know, as a musician, a lifelong musician, it's easy for me to get wrapped up in my work. It can be all consuming. But man, the real crux of the matter is we're here to lift each other up. So, and you guys do that for me. So thank you so much. I'm really grateful for you. And so, hey, spread love this week, everybody. I'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. If you ever watch Batman, I did. So did Greg. I know he did. We probably played Batman once or twice or 100 times when we were kids. Played Star Trek all the time. But anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. God bless you.